Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Priyanka, and I am the Manager South Asia in-country representative for University of Missouri St. Louis. Uh, Before we start ahead with the session, I would like to take an opportunity and thank you all for attending this session today, and also would like to thank our wonderful faculty, our business faculty, and Ms. Lee for taking out their time from this busy schedule and early in the morning for this information session today. As many of you might know, the University of Missouri St. Louis is the region's largest public research university and home to the first and only public business school in the St. Louis area to attain dual AACSB accreditation in both business and accounting. In fact, fewer than only 2% of the business schools worldwide hold this prestigious level of accreditation. Many of you must be aware of the Zoom feature. Just to refresh, because you have been attending a lot of webinars, just to refresh, you will see Q&A section right below in the control panel. So if you have any questions to be asked, I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions from our wonderful and most knowledgeable faculty. Then you can make use of our Q&A tab for any question and answers. And if in case during the time of the session you face any technical concerns, you're not able to hear audio or any concerns, you can make use of the chat box. So I repeat, for any questions related to University of Missouri St. Louis, our programs, our admission requirements, please make use of the Q&A tab. And for any technical concerns, you may use the chat box. I would like to share few, as I've shared, that these are the important points which you can take care of. If in case any concerns, and our backend team is there to help you out. Our managers are also there to help you out. You can just ping us. We are right there to support you. Now I'll take an opportunity to introduce you to Ms. Lee, who's our international business manager, who will be now taking over the session forward. Thank you all.
Hello, thank you for joining us today. We're glad that you could all make it here. I would also like to introduce our director for UMSL Global, Ms. Liana Constantine.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you everybody for being here today. I don't want to waste any time. I would like to hand it over to our faculty right away because it's their chance to present today, and I hand it over to Dr. Rotman. Joe, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Thank you, Liana. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Rotman, and I have the pleasure to serve as Associate Dean for the Graduate and International Programs at the University of Missouri St. Louis and the College of Business. And I'm also a Professor of Information Systems. So we have some faculty here, department chairs from several of our areas that'll talk with you, and they'll introduce themselves now. Dr. Arshadi, would you like to start?
Thank you, Joe. This is Dr. Nasser Arshadi, Professor and Chair of Department of Finance Legal Studies. Dr. Haitad Lee.
Hello, everyone. This is Haitad Lee. I'm Professor and Chair of the Supply Chain and Analytics Department. I'll hand it to Dr. Steve.
And hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Steve Morley. I am the Chair and Professor of Accounting, and we welcome you all. You're going to hear a lot of great stuff about our programs, and they truly are great. But I hope you'll also notice that unlike, I bet several of the schools that you work with, these are pretty good people that I'd be happy to send my my children to go study under. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Perry Drake.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Perry Drake. I'm the co-department chair of the marketing department here at the University of Missouri St. Louis, and also an associate teaching professor of digital and social media marketing. And I guess I'll hand it back to Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Perry. So on your screen, you should be able to see the agenda of what we're going to talk about today. And this should take about 60 minutes or so, but we want to leave 30 minutes at the end for questions and answers that you have. So we'll talk a little bit about St. Louis, the university itself, and then the college. And then I'll turn it over to the chairs of the various areas to talk about the programs within their areas. So St. Louis, we're known for the Gateway Arch. That's a picture of our downtown area. And we're considered the gateway to the West. So as the United States was was being explored, St. Louis is kind of a jumping off point. And that's, I think, interesting for many of our international students. So there's an outline of the United States, and the state is Missouri, and the city is St. Louis, and we're right in the middle of the country. And that's a great place for our international students. I'm always amazed, the international students who come to UMSL, as we call our university, they explore all over the country. They travel to New York, to Florida, up to Chicago, to California. It's a great home base for your time in the United States. And St. Louis and the Midwest is a very comfortable, very friendly, very welcoming area for our international students. St. Louis is also becoming increasingly the hub for entrepreneurship and innovation. And what you see on your screen right now highlighted is our innovation zone. It's called the Cortex Innovation Community. And UMSL was actually a co-founder of that. It's a 200-acre innovation hub. And as you can see on the screen, it's the fastest growing startup city in the United States. And 3 out of 4 top venture capital investors are located in St. Louis. We also have something very interesting called the Venture Cafe, which is every Tuesday evening, entrepreneurs, business owners, students get together to share ideas and kind of create a community of entrepreneurship. So innovation and entrepreneurship is probably the fastest growing area in the St. Louis region. I talked a little bit about the College of Business itself. So we'll start off with a little video here to kind of give you a flavor not only of the college, but of the campus.
You should choose UMSL for business because
UMSL has the largest alumni network in St. Louis.
Accreditation certainly goes a long way, especially if you're trying to work for a Fortune 500 company.
But I just started working at my company about 7 months ago, but when I go into the parking lot, there are these UMSL stickers everywhere. It's like this bond that you have before you even walk in the door.
The flexible scheduling in the College of Business was a huge decision-making factor.
So they have a lot of online classes.
UMSL has very strong internship programs.
By being able to meet those CEOs, those VPs, that really kind of got me out in front of some great companies, and that's how I got my job.
Choosing UMSL was probably one of the best financial decisions I've made that I know will keep paying dividends for the rest of my life. My name is Hirsch Patel.
I am Ashley Vickers.
Nick Sylvia.
I'm a financial advisor,
development engineer, social media community manager.
And I chose UMSL.
So it gives you a little flavor of the college itself. Now on your screen are some points of pride and some rankings for the college itself. As Priyanka mentioned, we are accredited by AACSB. Not only is the College of Business accredited by AACSB, but we have a separate accounting accreditation by AACSB. So what it shows is a level of quality and commitment that we have within the college to high quality programs. We have nearly 100% placement rate in the students' desired fields. And we have a comprehensive curriculum that we'll talk about this morning. On the right-hand side are some of our quality measures. So our international business program has been ranked in the top 25 for 17 consecutive years. We're the best online business program in Missouri. Our supply chain and logistics, number 15 for faculty productivity. Our DBA, doctoral program in business administration, is ranked in the top 25 for 3 consecutive years in the world. Finance program, number 16 for faculty research. Our accounting program that you hear from Dr. Morley leads the state year after year in the top pass rates for the CPA exam. And our cybersecurity has been designated as a center of excellence. And we're in the top 3% of business schools by the Princeton Review. We have a brand new business building. So you're looking at Anheuser-Busch Hall. It's where many of the faculty in the College of Business are housed, as well as state-of-the-art classrooms, which are all geared for remote delivery and face-to-face education. It's a beautiful building, and we're very proud of the facilities that we have. So it's a full College of Business. On the left-hand side of your screen, those are our departments. And so accounting, finance, global leadership, and management, you can see them on your screen. And then we have several degree programs within the College of Business. So the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, we have a separate bachelor's degree for Information Systems and Technology, a Bachelor of Science in Accounting. We have the Master of Business Administration. We also have two other master's programs, one in Information Systems and Technologies and the Masters of Accounting. We also have a PhD program and a DBA program. So the degrees on the right, you can add emphasis areas or majors on the left. So you could get a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and then get a major in finance or in marketing. So you can kind of match the degree with the departments on the right. We have several graduate certificates that can be stackable to build your MBA or your MSIST. So you can see the graduate certificates. Those are 12 credit hours each, or 4 courses, and you can get them and you can see them on your screen in analytics, auditing, taxation, talent management, just about every area within business. And the graduate certificates give you a credential that you can use to enhance your MBA or your MSIST. So there are some of the graduate certificates listed there. And those are the rest of them: business intelligence, cybersecurity, digital and social media marketing. So we have a really rich certificate base at the graduate level. Mentioned earlier was our cybersecurity. That's one of our major points of pride because it carries 2 very impressive and distinctive designations. So it's a National Center of Excellence, academic excellence in cyber defense, and we've added a Master of Cybersecurity. It's also designated by the Department of Homeland Security as a Center of Academic Excellence. So now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Steve Morley, who's Chair of Accounting, to talk to you about those programs. Steve?
Thanks, Joe. So I'll be the first of the departments, and probably the one that is most similar to your other programs in terms of design. We offer 3 degree programs: the Bachelor of Science in Accounting, the Master of Accounting, an MBA with an emphasis in accounting, and then within the Master of Accounting, you're going to see the opportunity to earn the certificates that Dr. Rotman was describing, and we'll see that in a second. Now, Joe, could you go forward one? Yeah, thank you. So here's a bit about our Bachelor of Science Accounting. We are one of the largest and most successful majors at the university and in the state of Missouri in terms of the size of the program and our outcomes. Our alumni are CEOs, chief executive officers, chief financial officers, and CPA firm partners across the country. If anyone's interested, we can certainly provide more information on who they are, because there are some pretty high-profile people that are very active in the region and with our students. Our mission is to prepare students for the CPA exam. Now, this isn't a Bachelor of Science Accounting. We sort of have a dual mission here, is to prepare them to pass the CPA exam and also prepare them for their entry level into the CPA firms and corporations. And our success rate there is very, very high. At the placement approaches 100% every year. Equally importantly, because certainly domestically, the CPA credential requires 150 hours ultimately, not a master's degree, but 150 credit hours of study. Well, what we did was we went ahead and designed a program where our homegrown Bachelor of Science students will roll comfortably and easily into the Master of Accounting, and it will simultaneously provide the 150 hours they need for licensure, the knowledge they need to pass the CPA exam, and opportunities in the master's program to choose their electives prudently to get any one of the certificates that's described. and importantly for all students, boy, I think all of our students that want an internship receive one, earn one, and of course they're paid. We laugh that in the semester that begins in January and goes through May, we have our day students are all working at the firms and coming to us at night, which was, we have both programs for both. So that's heavy. Joe, you want to go to the next one? Thank you. And this is a bit about our Master of Science, very much an extension of the bachelor's program. Here is when these students make it into the Master of Accounting program, our CPA exam pass rates are way above national averages. We're usually right there with Washington University in terms of pass rates and who's going to be number one, number two, number three in the state of Missouri. And the state of Missouri is always very high in terms of pass rates nationally. So if the candidate is seeking the CPA credential or the many other credentials, our students have a tremendous track record. I'll put it up against the firms across the world, the schools across the world. Our placement is at or near 100% annually. And in the Master of Accounting program, our mission here is to prepare for financial success in those first 10 years. So we aim our curriculum at producing a great financial professional that is going to be state-of-the-art in 2030 as we speak now. And so to that end, our students can use the electives in the master's program to emphasize a niche expertise if they wish, and that those fall into the two classics that you're going to hear at all your partner schools, audit and tax and financial reporting, really the three classics, but also controllership. So that's the management accounting side. And then we partner with the experts you're going to hear about coming up. We partner with them to provide them the opportunity to emphasize accounting data security. So there, they use accounting topics, but in the cybersecurity lab at our wonderful cybersecurity lab. It's very, very special. And then also with Haitao Lee and Joe Rotman's colleagues, we send them over there to get data analytics skills that we then marry with the accounting information, and they come out as accounting data analytics experts. And both of those niches are highly sought after at the CPA firms around the world. So that's a bit about our accounting programs. There we are. And that is also a peek inside of our new building. It's very state-of-the-art. And the last thing I wanted to point out is you're going to hear a lot about state-of-the-art programs, and indeed they are. I know you've learned a lot about our IST program in previous calls, but very, very importantly, we all get along very well. We're the word colleague. We're great colleagues to each other. We have, my best friends in the world, and you can tell these young people that these are people that I certainly would send my children across. Sorry, I unmuted there. And so with that, Joe, who's the next?
Turn it over to Dr.
Turn it over
Arshadi.
to my friend and colleague. Sorry, Joe. I'll turn it over to my friend and colleague, Nasser Arshadi.
Thank you, Steve. Our Department of Finance and Legal Studies trains students for financial services industry. St. Louis turns out to be one of the largest concentration of financial firms in the country. After New York and Chicago, we are third or fourth in the nation. So we have a lot of financial institutions, banks, brokerage houses, and so forth, trust departments, and so forth. So that adds to greater responsibility for us to be on forefront of education for students. In fact, that's the reason we have taken on ourselves to train students in modern finance. So we have developed a number of courses in new areas such as fintech. Department offers, like other departments in the college, BSBA and MBA degrees with emphasis in finance. And as I referred to, we are also in final stages of getting approval to offer a fintech master's degree. In fact, we have already hired new faculty to teach those courses, as well as the rest of us who are interested in that field. We teach in that field. So some of our new courses, for example, include financial data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, fintech, and blockchain. Next slide, please. Within the degree programs, as Steve mentioned, we have a number of track certificates. We have a corporate finance concentration, we have financial institutions and markets area, we have investments and portfolio management, we have financial planning, and insurance and fintech. For example, financial planning is a major field in St. Louis area. We have a lot of firms and trust departments and major banks that deal with financial planning. We get approached by a lot of these firms every year to send some of our better students for them. There's actually a shortage of experts in financial planning area. Insurance and also fintech, as I mentioned. Next slide, Joe, please. I'm going to actually go to next slide so I can introduce my colleagues and with their expertise. The first one is, you already met me. My area of teaching and research includes financial markets and institutions, venture capital and private equity, as well as blockchain. Next one is Professor Mike Costello. Mike teaches international law and business law in our program. He's a JD and also has a master's degree in international law from a university in Vienna. Next one is a new faculty, Dr. Tim Dombrowski. He's joining us in fall. His expertise is in data analytics and finance and artificial intelligence, among other areas. So we're excited to have him to join us. Dr. Honghae Feng is an endowed professor. He teaches international finance as well as business in China. In fact, he takes a lot of students summertime to China to introduce them to business in China. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they couldn't make the trip this year, but he has been doing that for a long time. Honghae is also a good ambassador for China. He brings a lot of performance art and others to our campus to introduce campus to what's going on in China. Dr. Kathy May teaches computational finance and security analysis and investment courses for us. Dr. Hainan Sheng is also another new faculty joining us this fall. Her expertise in real estate finance, and she has published extensively in that area. Again, real estate is a very hot area, at least in the United States these days, as a field of study. She also teaches derivatives and forensics for us. Professor Rhonda Tenku teaches commercial bank management as well as personal finance. Dr. Yuman Tesei is an endowed professor. Again, endowed professorships in the United States is a big deal. So we are lucky to have two of them in our department. Yuman teaches investment courses as well as fintech classes. And finally, we have Dr. Gaian Zheng. Gaian teaches corporate finance and international investment courses. We are proud of our faculty in finance because not only they are excellent teachers, but also excellent researchers, which means that they bring in a lot of expertise to classroom. Joe, pass to you.
Great, good, thank you. So I would talk a little bit about international business. And so we view international business to be part of the entire curriculum within the college, and that every graduate should have a global mindset and the ability to compete globally. And in order to do that, we have the International Business Institute, which is kind of a home base for all of our international students. And we have an International Business Career Conference. We have a case competition. The case for that is actually written by executives in a firm, and then the competitors are judged by those same executives. So the executives are facing some sort of global challenge, and we get 12 teams from around the United States to spend the weekend solving that problem and then presenting their solutions to the executives that are facing it. So it gives a really intense way for our students to have interaction with executives as well as hands-on experience solving a problem. And as we mentioned earlier, our international business program has been in the top 25 in the country for 17 consecutive years. So international has been part of our College of Business from the very beginning. And it also shows, I think, that you'll find across our college is that we are really student success focused. And many of the faculty, myself, I've been on campus for 30 years. So my undergraduate degree and my master's are from UMSL, just like Steve and Perry. We've been around for a long time. We kind of grew up at UMSL, and our mission is to transform lives. And the International Business Program is really at the forefront of that transformation. So here's a picture of the career conference that's actually put on by students. So they get the speakers, they raise the money, and it's a day-long event so that students can interact with international business executives. So now I'll turn it over to another alum of our program, Perry Drake, who's going to talk about marketing.
Great, thank you, Dr. Rotman. So as Joe said, I'm the department co-chair of the marketing department, and within our department, we have really strong basis in applications, as one might expect. Technology obviously integrates well within marketing as it does the other disciplines like finance and accounting. So we try to stay up to date with that by bringing in programming from Salesforce as well as HubSpot. With certifications. We do have a certification in digital and social media marketing, both at the undergraduate, graduate level. A very strong club focus, as most every department here does. We have very vibrant club organizations. Student internships, as Dr. Morley said, is key at our university. So we actually have our own student internship fair for just the marketing students because the demand is so hot for people in the areas of sales, social, digital, and basic marketing. Very industry focused, as I'll share a slide with you in a second talking about our advisory board. And again, we have an award-winning industry conference that we host, which I'll talk about shortly. Joe, if you want to take it to the next slide. Thank you. So specifically with respect to our marketing courses, we try to ensure that we're staying up to date with everything that's going on in the world of marketing. Everything's being disrupted very quickly across all of our disciplines, as you can imagine, and especially so within the world of marketing. So some of the courses that we offer: personal selling and sales, which is critical again for everyone, CRM, utilizing both HubSpot and Salesforce. So again, students do become HubSpot certified, and we use Salesforce Trailhead as well. Digital techniques, including search engine optimization and paid search, are brought into the curriculum pretty heavily, as well as Google Analytics. And then we touch base, obviously, on both B2B, B2C strategies, which is critical. And then we get heavily into content creation, which is critical for any marketing or sales efforts, including video, podcasting, blogging, and social media content creation. So students are learning and doing all of this from those within the industry as well. Joe, if you want to take it to the next slide. So speaking of staying in touch with what's going on in the world of marketing, one of the ways that we accomplish that is by producing the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. So this conference has been in place since 2013. Last year, we had roughly about 2,000 participants taking part in the conference, of which several hundred are students, but the vast majority are industry professionals, and our speakers come from all over, including BuzzFeed, Google, Facebook, Pinterest. We have Twitter, LinkedIn, are all coming to Missouri to speak on various topics of digital and social media, and then they also engage with our students. So it's a great chance for our students to learn from the industry experts in terms of what is being done out there in terms of marketing and digital efforts. Joe, you can go to the next slide. And another important aspect to the marketing department, as well as any of the departments here in the College of Business, are our advisory boards. So we all have very vibrant advisory boards in the College of Business. My advisory board is roughly about 30 executives from Anheuser-Busch, Fleshman, Purina, Express Scripts, et cetera. So we've got a very active board. Their main purpose is, as you can imagine, is to help guide us on our curriculum and programming, ensure that the students are learning the skills that are needed by the industry, assisting them with internship opportunities, guest speaking at club events, et cetera. So critical more than ever in today's quickly changing world to have advisory boards play a key role to ensure we're preparing our students for what's required of them. Joe, you can take it to the next slide. And then just speaking of content creation before I end it here is, again, our students are all very involved in hands-on sort of learning opportunities. So just not through the textbooks, but we are actively out there doing podcasting, doing video production, doing interviews, all of those sort of things that any marketing or any firm needs to do to stay relevant and capture the attention of potential customers and prospects. And then lastly, Joe, if you could take it to the next slide, I'll introduce our faculty. So I'm very proud of our very diverse faculty that we have within the marketing department. And you can see those from left to right and then top to bottom down there. My co-chair is Dr. Michael Elliott. So he's the co-chair with me at the marketing department. Our two new faculty members are Dr. Tessa Garcia and Dr. Daniel Grossman. Dr. Garcia Kohlert, her expertise is digital and social media, and Daniel Grossman is gift marketing. And as I said, it is award winning. I just actually received an email this morning that Janet Murray was named the #2 most cited faculty member in the Journal of International Marketing for the time period from 1993 to 2018. So she is one of our most acclaimed faculty members in the marketing department. And Joe, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay, and then I'll quickly turn it over to supply chain with Haitao Lee. Dr. Lee.
Thanks, Joe. It's a great pleasure to share with you supply chain and analytics field and our programs at UMSL. Supply chain studies the entire process of transforming goods and services from the inputs to outputs. So it's such a comprehensive field that covers almost every business functions in the company or organization, including logistics, transportation, operation management, and supply chain integration. Joe, next slides, please. The reason why this is a fast-growing and vibrant field is that it is driven by the fast-growing technology and availability of data. For example, the fast-growing technology in unmanned aerial vehicles, the drones, unmanned driven ground vehicles, and Internet of Things. Well, it is also facing a lot of challenges from both internally and externally. Externally, we're seeing nowadays lots of uncertainty and risks from the demand, supply, and environmental side, as well as internally, the issue and challenges of collaborating across business functions, as well as integration and collaboration among supply chain players. Next slide, please, Joe. What is analytics? This is perhaps one of the most heard buzzwords nowadays. It is about the science of better. It is about how to make better or optimal decisions. How can we use mathematics and technology to describe the world, what happened, using descriptive analytics, how to predict what's gonna happen using predictive analytics, and most importantly, how we prescribe optimal course of actions through the so-called prescriptive analytics. Next slides, please. According to the 2019 survey by the prestigious Gartner company, now we are facing, the whole nation and the world is facing tremendous demand for the so-called citizen data scientists who bridge the gap between a traditional supply chain professional and a pure data scientist. So you can see from the chart, this is the type of professionals who has both the domain knowledge in supply chain as well as the knowledge and skill in analytics. So with this insight, we have significantly rebranded our programs and updated our curriculum in the past 3-4 years. Next slides, please. Here are a wide scope of career opportunities for a supply chain and analytics graduate. As you can see, the positions ranges from the traditional supply chain cross functions in sourcing, purchasing, manufacturing operations, transportation logistics, supply chain planning, and other cross-functional areas, as well as tremendously growing business analytics and intelligence positions. Next slide. How about salary? According to the most recent 2020 Supply Chain Salary and Career Survey reported by the Association of Supply Chain Management, the median salary of supply chain professional is above 80,000. And we have additional data to show that for graduate with bachelor degree, the average is around 78,000. For graduates with master or higher degree, the average is above 95,000. Next slide, please. Here are some highlights of our AMSO supply chain and analytics programs. We offer the most comprehensive programs in supply chain in the entire state of Missouri, ranging from BSBA with supply chain emphasis and minor, MBA with 2 emphasis, graduate certificate, to our new Master of Science degree program in supply chain analytics, which I'm going to highlight a little bit more. And very importantly, we offer PhD program in logistics and supply chain management as well. As Joe mentioned, we were ranked number 15 in supply chain and logistics program in the US by the Great Value College Institute. And again, the uniqueness of our program is that we are able to focus on the 2 pillar emphasis in this area. That is on both supply chain domain and analytics, and we are able to leverage the 2. And we are also among one of the first cohort of the Systems e-learning initiative. Last but not least, our advisory board worked closely with us to make sure our curriculum is up to date. Next slide, please, Joe. And behind all these are our award-winning prestigious faculty. We have 7 tenure-track faculty plus 4 non-tenure track faculty. This table shows each of our faculty's research and teaching expertise. As you can see, we do have a team who has very diverse and complementary skill sets that range from logistics, transportation, operations, with technical skills in predictive analytics, optimization, modeling, simulation. With many of our faculty are active researchers on applied research in different industries. For example, manufacturing, agriculture, service, healthcare, and humanitarian logistics. We're also adding, like other departments, we're also adding 2 new energetic faculty in this fall. We're very proud to highlight Dr. Shakiba Anayati, who will be joining us. Her specialty is in network optimization design in the healthcare and service area. And Dr. Trosi Incarnacion, She has years of experience working in humanitarian logistics, which is very relevant field nowadays, and on sustainability supply chain management. Next slides. We're very proud of our advisory board consisting of 15 companies in the greater St. Louis area, including those major companies, Anheuser-Busch, Bayer, Boeing, among others. Our board works closely with our faculty on curriculum program updates, students engagement, internship, career opportunities. Next slide. I do want to mention the recent challenges we're facing. Indeed, the COVID-19 pandemic worldwide has caused significant supply chain disruptions globally. From the supply side, demand side, on the logistics, transportation, and operations, including some of the most critical supply chain infrastructure, for example, healthcare, food, and utility. This is really a call of duty on every supply chain and analytics faculty. Joe, if you can go to next slide. So as a coherent effort from this department, we have hosted a panel session in April to discuss the impact of COVID-19 on the Missourian business. We had 4 panelists from Amron, Bunge, ESI, Express Scripts, Unison, representing 4 distinctive yet very important industries. We had over 120 participants of students and industry and business person from industry in that panel discussion. The department has 4 ongoing funded research projects related to COVID-19. First one is the study on advanced analytics for risk mitigation in the pharmaceutical industry, sponsored by the Express Scripts, actually their headquarters is housed in the AMSO campus. Second project is on the vaccine delivery using drones, sponsored by the prestigious Association of Supply Chain Management. We're also studying inbound supply chain network design under uncertainty, sponsored by Amron Corp, who is a company, the major utility company in Missouri. The last project I want to highlight is the study on the impact of labor costs and shortage due to COVID-19, especially on the food markets and supply chain. This was a project recently awarded by the International Agricultural Trade Research Consortium. Lastly, just in this month, the department has just submitted a major grant managing the pandemic supply chain in response to the RFP of the Intelligence Advanced Research Project activity under the Office of Director of National Intelligence. So all these demonstrate how relevant and important this field is, and the effort of the Supply Chain and Analytics Department are doing as part of the effort to cope with this COVID-19 pandemic. Next slides, please. So here are a summary overview of supply chain analytics programs. Again, we have BSBA emphasis, minor. At master level, we have 2 MBA emphasis that has been recently updated to be supply chain management and business analytics. This again reflects the 2-pillar focus I shared with you earlier. And I want to highlight the new MS program in supply chain analytics in a minute. And also, we offer a PhD program in logistics and supply chain management. This program produced 13 graduates in the past 5 years who have been all placed in AACSB accredited business schools, research institutes, as well as industry. Next slide. So our new MS program is structured to have the 2-pillar focus. We design our curriculum to maintain a balance between the supply chain management domain topics, as well as the business analytics skills in predictive analytics, optimization, and simulation. So in this slide, I'm showing how a student may complete the program in either 2-year course of study or a speed course of 16 months if they are taking summer class. So we are assuming a student take no more than 3 courses a semester. And the program is also designed to have a mix of both online and in-person as well hybrid classes. So it is highly accessible to students with different needs and preferences. Next slide, please. We have all kinds of student engagement activities and events. I highlight a few. All these enhance our students' experience, both during their course of study at AMSO, as well as benefit for their future career opportunities. We have a very vibrant supply chain club, and we have a long existing class speaker program where we bring industry leaders to classroom to share students the state-of-the-art practices and the most up-to-date challenges. We have a very unique student mentorship program with the help of our advisory board, where we pair our top students with the industry leaders. So these students really benefit a lot through the in-person interactions with industry leaders. We have embedded in facility visits to our board companies and beyond in our curriculum. And the speed match program or enhance the internship and career opportunities. And certainly internship, almost all of our students will find internship if they are willing to. So this field is really in high demand. Next slide. So this is a very high overview. If you have questions, feel free to contact our advisors. Undergraduate advisor, Ms. Monica Farrell, graduate advisor, Ms. Yuan Chen. If you are interested in our PhD program, please contact Dr. James Campbell. At any time, please feel free to direct contact me if you have questions or need more information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Haitao. So that's kind of an overview of some of the areas within the college. And I think as you listen to the department chairs, that the two themes that I think kind of tie the college together is one is a focus on student success. What you'll find at UMSL and the College of Business is that the faculty really care about the student's success. It is very common for all of our faculty to put their mobile phone numbers on the syllabus and to receive texts or calls on the weekend, because we kind of see it as we're not really the sage on the stage just talking to PowerPoint. We're much more in the College of Business the guide on the side, and that we partner with the students almost like success coaches, and that we were really focused on the success of the student. And then the other thing that kind of brings the whole college together is this idea of corporate engagement. Every area has an advisory board, the College of Business itself, and every month or so we get about 150 executives across the advisory boards to come to campus to shape the curriculum, to provide internships, to provide scholarships, and shape the curriculum. So student success and corporate engagement, I think, are the two biggest value propositions that the College of Business at UMSL has. So with that, I'll turn it back to Priyanka, who can maybe facilitate some questions and answers, and we'd be happy to chat with all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. I think we can go ahead with a little bit information on our admissions criteria. So I think Lee would like to take over and share across the admissions details and other relevant details of our programs. So over to you, Lee.
Oops.
You are on mute, Lee. You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, with our admissions requirements at the undergraduate level, we would like to see a student with at least a 2.3 GPA on a 4.0 scale. If the student is required to take the TOEFL, it would be a 61 on the internet-based test or 5.5 IELTS. On the graduate level, we would like to see at the MBA or Masters of Accounting 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. The GMAT would be required for all the programs. Some of the programs, like the MBA program, will accept a GRE equivalent. The target score for the GMAT is at least 500 overall. The equivalent GRE score would be 152 on the quantitative and 152 on the analytics. Then we would have automatic scholarships that we consider students for when they apply at the undergraduate level. We offer scholarships of up to $14,000 per year, payable in one half in the spring, one half in the fall. At the graduate level, scholarships are up to $6,000 per year, payable over one half for the spring, one half for the fall. And I think that's pretty much the overview of the admissions process. Priyanka usually coordinates everything for us. So if you have any applications to submit, please do submit them through MSM, and Priyanka is there to assist you with that.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for sharing the details. Can you please give a little bit brief on the fee structure and the scholarship structure which we do have for our students?
Okay. Right now, we do have scholarship program. I went over the high level part of that. For undergraduates, the breakdown would be from consideration for the $14,000 scholarship, it would be a GPA of 3.5 or higher. At 3.3, students are eligible for $12,000. At 3.0, they're eligible for $9,000. And at 2.8, they're eligible for $6,000. At the graduate level, 3.5 would be the requirement to get the $6,000 scholarship. At 3.25, you're eligible for a $5,500 scholarship. And at 3.0, you're eligible for $5,000 scholarship.
Great, fantastic. So this is for our undergraduate students. Can you please give details on our graduate students, like the scholarships which is there for our graduate students, for master's students?
Okay, yes. At the graduate level, it's $6,000 is the maximum award. Students have to have a 3.5 or higher. If they have a 3.25 or higher, they can get up to $5,500. And for 3.0 or higher, they can get up to $5,000. And then with the fee structure, and we can send this all as a handout as well. So at the undergraduate level for the I-20, we would expect to see $40,548. Undergraduate tuition makes up most of that, though we do include living expenses and mandatory health insurance policies. And then at the graduate level, we would expect to see a little bit less in terms of amount. It would be $39,155. Again, most of it goes towards tuition, but then there are mandatory living expenses and health insurance.
Great. So this is the fund show which Lee has explained that for your bank statements, as most of you know that we do accept 6 months of bank statements. So this is a fund show to be shown in your bank accounts. So I'll pick a few of the questions. One question which has come up is about the accommodation. So what are the different sort of accommodation options available for the international students and the average cost for it?
Okay, we have a couple different options on campus. There are a few that go through our Res Life office, and Res Life is great in the fact they really cater to our students and offer students housing options based on their level of where they are and what they're in their degree program and in their life. So a lot of the undergraduate students choose to live at Oak Hall. That's suite style living. And students get to share suite. Sometimes they're live in living learning communities, which allow students to live in the same proximity as students in similar interest areas. So Oak Hall it ranges about, depending on which meal option you pick, it can be $10,411 to $10,972 for a 9-month contract. And then at the graduate level, we do have Mansion Hills apartments, which are apartments that are geared towards students who are 21 and older. So a lot of our graduate students pick that. Their cost is, for an 11-month contract, it ranges from a 1-bedroom, which would be about $9,600 annually. If you wanted to go up to a 2-bedroom apartment with no roommate, it would be $11,900.
Great. Thank you for this information, Lee. I think now this question is for our faculty, and our faculty can answer this question, which is like for an accounting program. So the question goes is that what is the difference or similarity between CPA and ACCA professional programs? So difference or similarity between ACCA and CPA professional programs is the question.
I suspect, I'm not actually familiar with the ACCA, but I suspect that that's an accreditation that is analogous in another culture, like in the Indian culture. And so what we do with is we support for definitely to get the US based certified professional accountancy exam. And so we teach the domestic rules, and that is something that we get from our students and from our advisory board, that that it is key to have. It is very, very valuable. It's called the $1 million credential. In fact, although I'd say with inflation, it's worth much more than that these days. But and so our students want to earn that, and they do so at, as I said, rates way above. And then what we do with international rules is we have an integrated approach, and then I teach a module. So with all the rules from, for example, the Indian culture or the international financial reporting standards, which is huge right now. Most economies are using international financial reporting standards. So what we do is we integrate, and every time we teach a topic, we then say, okay, most of these things are converged, and they use the same rules internationally that they use in the US markets. But wherever they don't, with each topic, we say, here's the subtle difference in the international treatment. And so that's integrated throughout the experience, and it's also tested on the US CPA exam. Then, as a capstone, I have the students just before they're about to roll into the CPA firms and the corporations, and I do a comprehensive module that, one, ties together all of these reconciliations between differences in the international rules and the US-based rules, and also shows exactly how you're going to do this at the firm. So we start with financial statements that are stated, one, in the local currencies of, for example, the Indian culture or the Chinese culture or the European culture, and in their rules, and then we convert those to US accounting-based statements. So we have to convert them first to as if they were used on US rules, and there isolate the differences, and we basically review all of these differences between US GAAP and International Financial Reporting Standards, US Generally Accepted Accounting Standards. And then we also do the finance-based translation of the financial statements to the US dollar. And of course, we could also, it is the same thing if we were going from US-based to the, for example, Indian rules-based or the International Financial Reporting Standards. So that's how we handle that. And then we encourage students to first get that CPA credential, because it is generally considered the most valuable, no matter what culture you're in. And then get maybe a accreditation in the local country and the differences between that, or get the certified management accountant credential, or the certified internal auditor, or information systems auditing. And all of these are supported by our programs and are across the departments. Does that help?
Definitely, Dr. Stephen, you have like given all the required information. Now, while the presentation was going on, we spoke about internships, and there is a question which has come up regarding internship also. So the question is like, how can one participate in internship programs, and if they are paid, what exactly is an average payment for that?
I can cover some of that, and then you guys can jump in. So the way that almost all of the internships work within the College of Business is that they are paid. The hourly rate ranges, but you can, as an average, probably $15 an hour. And also, students combine the internship with an independent study in order to get academic credit for the internship. So they'll have a faculty sponsor who will work with them on a one-on-one basis and create a 4-credit program for that student, usually 3 credit hours, but it counts towards their degree. And usually the faculty member tries to find a synergy between what their own research area is and what the student is doing in the internship. So it's 4 credit and it is paid.
If I may add a little bit to what just Joe said, we have a very organized internship program in the college. We have a full-time staff who takes care of that. Usually companies approach that office and ask for students, a certain background, etc. And then there are exchanges there. And our staff member in charge of internship then reaches out to students with that sort of background, and then they put those together. As Joe said, there's an independent study involved. So throughout the internship, the student works closely with the faculty in that area of independent study. But as Joe said, they also get paid. That's an excellent way of introducing a student to work experience.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Arshadi, for this. Now, another question anybody can take up is like, how would the ICE announcement, the recent announcement which has taken place regarding the online studies of the student and their F1 visa. So how exactly UMSL is planning to handle this situation?
I can take that, Priyanka. And I thought there was naturally a lot of questions here in the chat box already from various people. So it's brand new, as everybody knows. The good news about UMSL is we will be in compliance with the new rule. Of course, we need to be in compliance in order to keep everybody safe, including first and foremost the students who would fall under this rule. So we had a meeting with all colleges involved, and our chancellor sent out a message yesterday that we will make sure we will have enough in-person learning opportunities for all of our international students. And I know that sounds like a blanket statement. So how do we do that in real? So how is it really going? So we are in a massive logistics exercise right now, identifying all of our students, both from our office and from the colleges and department level. So nobody falls between the cracks. And we'll talk to them and look at their particular study plan individually, make sure they get the portions that they need, and make sure the professors meet with them. So in terms of class or one-on-one, like professor to maybe just one student, we of course have the same challenge, face the same challenge that everybody faces around the world, spacing out students in the classroom. We do have great facilities, but of course we cannot put 40 students in one classroom anymore. Our facilities management has taken care of it. We do have information about what rooms can be used for that, and we stand ready to accommodate students.
Thank you for such a detailed reply on this. Now, this is a very common question which, yes.
May I add
Please.
another comment on that? At the department level, what I've been trying to do is to make sure that our course offerings still include in-person class or blended. Yeah, now it has to be blended. So to comply with this rule, but also offer a good amount of options to our international students. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Lee, and thank you everybody for such a detailed reply on this, because this was much needed. Many students are worried on this, and agents have been continuously asking questions on this, that what to do next. Now, another question which I and we continuously face in Africa is about the English language waiver for our Nigerian students. So do we have anything in the plan to do that, or what is your take on that?
Okay, for Nigeria, we do not require the TOEFL. At the undergraduate level, it's okay. At the graduate level, just keep in mind that there's also that component of the GMAT or GRE requirement. But as far as TOEFL goes, you don't have to take the TOEFL or IELTS. You will be asked to take an English placement exam when you arrive to campus along with other international students, but it's not actually required to see the test score.
Great. So for our Nigerian students, we do not require any English proficiency test requirements.
Correct.
Fine. That's a great news for our Nigerian students and agents. They have been asking that on a regular basis to us. Now, the question is about GRE and GMAT. Like for our fall 2020, we did waive off our GRE and GMAT for our MBA program and MSIST. What is our plan for our future or coming intakes?
I think we'll continue to assess the situation and be flexible. And so we quickly came to the realization to waive the GMAT and GRE for the MSIST and the MBA. For the Masters of Accounting, it does require a review by the accounting department. And I would imagine if things stay the way they are, then we'll keep that waiver in place, but it will require a review of the application.
That's correct, Joe. That's what we are doing in accounting.
Yeah.
Great. So we can go ahead and share the profiles of the students without GRE and GMAT requirement for our spring 2021 intake.
Correct.
Okay, great. So another question is for our supply chain department. So the question again is regarding internship. What is the scope of supply chain in terms of internships?
Excellent question. As you can imagine, the opportunities is very wide, simply because supply chain is such a big umbrella that covers multiple business functions in a typical company or organization. So we've had students working in warehouse, for example, kind of job, in the operation facilities, production, manufacturing, and at 3PL logistic companies working on, dispatching, transportation planning, And also there are also increasing demand on students with analytic skills. I've got several call from our collaborating companies that they really need students with analytical skills, as our program provides in predictive and optimization. Now, what is important is often they need not just students with technical background, because they can get those students elsewhere. For example, in computer science and even applied mathematics. But we're unique because again, our program is designed to give students both pillar of exposure and experience in supply chain domain and the technical skills. So that really put our students in advantage, in terms of these internship and career opportunities. Yeah.
Oh, great, Dr. Lee. Thank you for this information. We have been getting a lot of questions, and I'll try to take up as many questions as possible. If in case we miss out on any questions, please do not worry. You can get in touch with our managers. They will be happy to assist you one-on-one with all your questions and queries. So this another question is again for our finance program, which is like, is there any program leading to help potential students prepare for the CFA? So CFA is Chartered Financial Analyst. So this is a question like, is there any program leading to help potential students prepare for Chartered Financial Analyst?
Yes, indeed, we have such a program, and there are certain courses that we offer, and there's actually a professor that is in charge of that. And they prepare students for phase one of CFA program, and then we can help them for phase two as well. So we take that seriously. I think there's quite a bit of demand for CFA certification, and this is an excellent place to come through that program.
Great, thank you, Dr. Arshadi. Now, another question is about the teaching assistantship. It's related to teaching assistantship. So the question goes like, are graduate assistantships available for, and this question is from Ghana, so they're asking for Ghana, but we can take it for all our international students. So is there any teaching assistantship available for our programs?
Yes, within the College of Business, we actually have 28 graduate assistant positions each year. They range from graduate research assistants, which would work with a faculty member on a research project, to graduate teaching assistants, which would help with grading of papers, setting up curriculum, talking with students, and then also graduate assistants, which would work within departments within the college. For example, Dr. Drake has some that help with the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. Our graduate business, our undergraduate business, and our International Business Institute all have graduate assistant positions. Not only do they have a stipend, but they have tuition remission. So they are very, it's a great program for the students. It is a very competitive program, and I noticed in the chat they asked about what is the process. Basically, you send your resume to the area that you'd like to work in, and it's just like applying for any other job. There'll be many applicants for that position, and it's very competitive because it's such a great value for the student.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph, for that. Now, another question is about admissions, like, does UMSL require transcripts evaluation for WES for both undergraduate and postgraduate students?
No, WES is completely optional. We do our evaluation in-house, and we do it quickly and at no cost to the student.
Oh, fantastic. So another question is about Duolingo. So are we accepting Duolingo online English test for our undergraduate and graduate students, and what is going to be the fee?
Okay, for Duolingo, we do accept that. We just started recently, so we expect about an 85 to 90 on the Duolingo for undergraduates and 105 to 110 for graduates.
Thank you. And another question is about application fees and If in case there is a visa refusal, is there any refund for that?
For the application fees, we'll go ahead and waive them for students coming through MSM. So as long as you come through MSM, we will waive the application fee for you. So you wouldn't need a refund.
So we do not have
Lee,
any, yes, please go ahead.
Lee, can you maybe cover at the same time when students are delayed, actually, so depending on when the embassies will open, because I saw a few questions here and there. And
Okay, so when students are delayed due to the pandemic, we have a couple of options ready for them. We have the ability for them to start online at a reduced cost. So under this plan, students would pay $550 per credit hour for undergraduate tuition plus fees, and $825 per graduate credit hour plus fees, which is a substantial reduction. What will happen is when the students see their bill, they will see the full amount due, but a scholarship to offset it. This is for the fall 2020 semester, and we're hopeful that students will join us spring 2021. And the important thing will be for students to be enrolled in a program that can facilitate an online start, which most of our programs can. We are lucky that we have a very robust online catalog already in place. In fact, we are one of the top online schools in Missouri. We recently came in at #1 in U.S. News and World Reports in Missouri for our quality in online undergraduate education. So it's a great option for students who are wanting to start in fall but can't actually physically report. Of course, we understand that not every student wants to go that path, so we are flexible with deferring their admission.
Thank you for that, Lee. So this helps us help our students to start their classes online at a discounted fee. So I would say you can recommend this to the students to encash the opportunity, not to miss out on the time because waiting for the consulates to open and go for the classes face to face. So they can go ahead and take the benefit of our discounted fee options. It's another question which has come up is regarding, again, considering the COVID-19 situation. The question is about security and safety level in state of Missouri and UMSL for the students.
Oh, all right. Liana?
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka, for picking up that question. I was actually smiling here, if one can smile in the pandemic at all with this question, but the way I read the question was more from our general non-pandemic standpoint, because at our university, everybody that enrolls has like a part of our orientation is also security, because it is such an important matter to us. So from the pandemic standpoint first, we have started to initiate all pandemic needed requirements right now. In front of every building, we have the, hand sanitizers. We have put foot handles to bathroom doors, so you don't have to touch anything anymore. The classrooms are spread out in terms of like benches and tables being close to each other. Students are all required to wear masks. And so our faculty, nobody's allowed to be on campus without a mask. So we have really strict regulations around that. For the other side of the security question, we make sure that everybody is safe on our campus and feels safe. We have a police office, like a police department, security department, I should say. Police sounds intimidating in other parts of the world. And Priyanka, as you know, I'm an international myself. I'm from Germany. I moved here and I thought, oh gosh, security. And it is impressive. So just an anecdotal thing to highlight where we are with that. In one of our orientations with our international students, the advisor mentioned to the international students, well, if you're walking back to the dorms at nighttime and you feel unsafe, so here is the app, you can use the app for calling us, and then there are those lights along the way back home you can use for raising an alert, and the police will always be there for you. So they took that literally, and they called the police. The police gave them a ride to the dorms, and in the next presentation, the students, their takeaway was, oh, you can actually save an Uber because the AMSO police will take you home. So that was taken a little bit too far, but my point is, we have everybody feels safe on campus, and we make sure that that feeling is not compromised at any point of time.
Yeah, that's in fact, this is very important also. Another question is again about scholarship. So the question is like, will the scholarship obtained for fall semester be rolled over to the second year of studies if the students have lectures online, since most online students are not considered for scholarship for the online studies?
Okay, so with this UMSL Cyber Start, if they start online, and right now we're hoping to be here for spring, so the expectation now, as of now, would be that students would be able to come in spring. So what will happen is, if they choose to start online with the Cyber Start grant, it would basically pause their scholarship. So once they do come to campus in spring, the scholarship they were awarded for fall will take effect.
Thank you for that, Lee. Now, another question, if we can give details, anybody can take over this question on the teaching assistantship. Because again, another question which has come up is like, can one obtain a merit-based scholarship as well as a graduate teaching assistantship at the same time?
In most cases, no. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Lee.
Well, for the scholarships offered through our office, in most cases, they can't have an assistantship and a scholarship through our office, simply because the level of support is so generous at the assistantship level that it basically cancels out our scholarship.
Okay. I understand that point. However, if anybody can give a little bit more information on the teaching assistantship options which are there for the international students, because they're very much interested to know about it.
Yeah, they're semester by semester, but almost always they get rolled over if the student wishes to continue. So it's up to 9 graduate credits of tuition remission, so 3 classes. And it's also available over the summer if a student wants to do it over the summer. The duties really range from supporting conferences to supporting students to supporting faculty. So again, there's a teaching assistant, a research assistant, and a graduate assistant, and they would all have different duties. And I know, Perry, you have some, Haitai, you've had some, Steve, you can talk about what the GRAs in your areas do, but it's a very nice program.
Yeah, I'll just jump in quickly with respect to, sorry, Dr. Lee.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly, my grad assistants and teaching assistants help a lot with the podcasting, the video production, the blogging team. So they're heavily involved in overseeing all the content creation for the College of Business. So they support so any social media you see out there under the College of Business are Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, our podcasting, our YouTube channel. Those are all run by my students, of which the grad assistants basically manage and oversee a lot of that process and working with the undergrads. So sorry, Dr. Lee.
No problem. I just want to add, for the teaching assistant, there are also different kind of roles. Some of them are called teaching assistant. So they basically provide additional help to students. But the campus also had some support for the so-called tutor. So the duty is kind of similar, but for tutors, their primary responsibility is to offer extra help. But for teaching assistants, sometimes it depends on the instructor. They may have some other duties, like do some of the grading, for example. And for graduate assistant, yeah, similar to what Dr. Drake shared with you, we also recently had a graduate student helping the supply chain and analytics department on the marketing and communication aspect. For example, helping improving designing the department website, setting up social media. So that's the graduate assistant. For research assistant, I would say mostly they will be associated with some external funding. So with the stipend covered by the funding, but we often resort to the college to cover the tuition remission side. Yeah. But they are, for research assistant, their primary responsibility is to work with the faculty, the professor on some research projects.
Oh, great. That was really informative, Dr. Lee and everybody. In fact, we got a lot of insights on the different sort of assistantship options which are there. I'll take up the last question because we're running short of time as well. So this is again related to the recent news and the confusion on the F1 visa is that if the student is going to start the classes online right from here, then is it going to impact the F1 visa, whether they get the visa or the chances of the rejections is there? So.
Okay. So if the student starts online, they would start without a visa but in the background be working on getting one for spring. When we've talked to this plan with our lead immigration advisor, he pointed out to us that in many cases, students struggle to provide a firm sense of commitment to the visa officers, but he feels like if you've taken that extra step and started online, you can demonstrate that you've already committed to your program and you've committed to this course of study.
So I think this is going to help a lot of our agents because the confusion which is going on, that is, it answers that there is no concern related to if the students are going to start online. It only going to help the students to know more about the university, more about their program, and in turn they will be able to speak in front of the visa officer about the program. They will get more knowledge, more awareness, and then only they will be able to demonstrate their knowledge about the subject well in front of the visa consulate. So it's going to help the students in any case if they're going to start with the online classes. So thank you, everybody. I would like to thank our wonderful faculty, the most knowledgeable session today. Any last word if you want to give to our agents, partner agents, those who are listening right now?
Joe, do you want to say that as the...
I was just going to thank everybody for their interest, and we look forward to working with all of you and MSN. And UMSL is a great place for international students, especially in the College of Business. As you can tell from the faculty here, our faculty are international, and we really focus on student success and corporate engagement.
And hang in there with the pandemic. That's my capstone here for everybody. It's frustrating, but so we're like ready. Our recommendation is encourage every single student to get their applications as much prepared as they can. And once the consulates and the embassies open again, run to them, submit it, and we will be on standby for everybody to process the papers as quickly as possible in order to finally get rid of that frustration that we all have being stuck here in our home offices. Thank you so much, Priyanka, MSM, and everybody who has been able to participate today.
Thank you, Ms. Constantine. I think Dr. Stephen wanted to say something, so.
Oh, I was just going to add that as you can probably tell, even from the people that are on this call, our university does have a really committed staff of people at all levels to usher basically every step of the needs, from the legal needs to the household needs to the to indeed the tutoring needs through our GAs of international students. So we've invested a lot of funds in making sure this is a comfortable place and a safe place and a great place to learn for international students.
I completely agree. And I would say that UMSL is a place where you're most welcome. We are there to help you out. The complete UMSL team is there to help you out, and our faculty from the business department, if your students are seeking business courses, they are there to help you out. Dr. Arshidi, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Drake, do you want to say something?
I just want to say thank you again for this great opportunity. It's great to share our programs to you. Feel free to contact us anytime.
Yeah, I was just going to say the one thing that came to mind with me when talking about how well we embrace international students is we're a big university, but we're not that big where you would feel lost within this particular campus. I think that's a great way to kind of say it. Dr. Arshadi.
We look forward to working with you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. As I have been saying in most of my sessions, that UMSL is a place, an answer for all your student queries, be it in terms of St. Louis as a study destination, metropolitan area. Even though it's a metropolitan area, the cost is very low. It's very competitive, and our academic quality, which UMSL offers, is like it's fantastic for our students to look for their study abroad destination and choose University of Missouri as their study abroad destination. So once again, thank you everybody for taking out your time at this in such a situation, considering COVID-19 and also your busy schedule. And I would like to thank all our partner agents, those who took out their time and joined the session today. I hope that this have been very informative. I'm sure that many of you will have some more questions to ask. Please get in touch with me. Please get in touch with our managers to get all your answers. And for any student questions or queries, we are there. You can make us speak to your students, and we'll be happy to help them out to prepare them for their applications for our coming intake. In the end, I would say that if you want to know about MSM, about our coming intakes, our coming webinars, you can get in touch with our team, and also go to our website. We have our complete event list mentioned on our website. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We keep on posting about our partner agents on our YouTube channel, which is M Square Media. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.